So now, look at this. One major factor for the success of the successful here in Christ Jesus, in God, and one major factor for the failure of the failure is not giving proper attention to the issue of eternity. I want you to listen to me. There are two mistakes children of God make. One of them is terrible. The other one is really eternally fatal. One is to be conscious of eternity and forget anything about the terrestrial space, the world. You forget everything about how you look, how things happen, the economic value. It's a terrible mistake. Terrible. It's a terrible mistake. Very terrible. Because there are so many things God can do with you that He will not be able to do with you. You will be like Lazarus that had sores all over his body, made it to heaven and landed in Abraham's bosom. But here on earth was incapacitated, was useless. If he had children, the children were even cursing God. God forgive me. The children didn't want to serve God because of him. Because all the relatives of the poor, they run away from him. Another mistake that especially a number of people make, when they now begin to become conscious of how to pursue economic development, and they know that there are so many resources and they are economically driven, is that they lose sight of eternity. It's eternally fatal. Jesus took us, let's start from Matthew chapter 6, took us through how to balance things up. Eternity concerns God more than economics, because eternity funds economics. If eternity stopped existing, economics has died years before. Economics is an insignificant, almost an insignificant part of the produces of eternity. Some place in Second Chronicles, I think, one king was crying to God. He said, "It is nothing with you to help, whether with many or with those that have no help. It is nothing." God can turn. The Bible says, the mother of Samuel says that the Lord picks the poor from the dunghill and makes him to sit with the princes, for the pillars of the earth are the Lord's. It is nothing for God to turn somebody who was a prisoner just yesterday to a prime minister today. It happens. It's not in a jiffy. It happens. But because God is eternal in nature, eternity dwells in him. He doesn't dwell in eternity. Eternity dwells in him. Eternity is issued out of God. In him is life. Are you listening to what I'm saying? But because eternity is an integral part of God, and man is eternal in nature, man is a tripartite being. He is a spirit primarily. He has a soul. He lives in the body. His spirit and soul are eternal. His body is ephemeral. It's going to go away with time. He's going to change from matter to immortality. So God knows that one way, one kind, is going to have to deal with man eternally. Either on a side or in the side of eternal separation. Are you listening to what I'm saying? When people lose sight of eternity, God does not know He needs to provide for their economics. So struggles of life now start. The eyes of humans, while in pursuit of all things that make life good, must be fixated, must be glued on eternity. Because you are eternal in nature. Look at Jesus, Matthew chapter 6. Let's read from verse 14. Let's see. Go down, go to verse 20. Okay, look at it. But lay up for yourselves, try from verse 19. From verse 19, let's see. Lay not up for yourself treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. Can you see? It's so important that you have this at the back of your mind. And I'm going to get to the young rich ruler and what he got wrong. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through to steal. Go on. Can you see, first of all, from that 19 and 20, can you see that there is nothing you have on this earth that the value cannot depreciate? You rejoice over a particular job right now. If you stay on that same job the next 10 years, it will have become a curse. Even the next 3 years will have become a curse. The reason is that inflation keep rising. Corruption does enter into the system. What 200? I remember when COVID-19 struck and there was a ban on movement and everybody has to stay within 5 kilometers of where they were. I remember I went with Nenet to Lydie and I bought things of 250 euro. My whole house was filled up with different kind of provisions. You remember how I feed the whole boot or whatever, filled everywhere. We ate from that thing for almost 2 to 3 months without needing to go out to buy things. Go and buy things of 200 euro now. Sometimes I finish buying. I thought that I bought things of 50 euro. They say it's 120. As a result of that, other things that they ask me to buy, I don't just buy. I just go home and say, what's this? I say, what's this? Prices of electricity, everything just sort of. They give me 595 euro for electricity from 120. So somebody is now earning 500 euro a week, apart from you have not paid tax, you have not paid tithe. You have not paid other things, other dues. What do you have left? And we were rejoicing when you first got the job. The only thing that keep appreciating are eternal values, not economic values. That's the reason why you see Jeff Bezos was the richest at the time. Bill Gates was the richest at the time. He turned out to one Brazilian guy. From one Brazilian guy, he came to Jeff Bezos. From Jeff Bezos, he came to Elon Musk. I think there's another one that is in charge now. What's the name? That Elon Musk is not the richest. Now there's another one. You know, what makes all these things oscillate is that economic values, from time to time, they go up and down. They are never stable. Like the waves of the ocean. They are never stable. But eternal values are stable. Say, if you lay treasure here on earth, it say moth and rust, they do corrupt, and thieves break through and steal. Bank will steal your money. Different kind of people will do different kind of things to steal from you. But the things put in eternity. That's the reason why my best investment is given to God. It could not be given to people to give to God. The best thing that happened to Mirella's birthday was that God made a demand on us to give. Every kind of food that anybody had, they have forgotten it. The cloth we wore, everybody has forgotten it. But heavens has not forgotten what we registered with heaven. That's why one of the things that came to my mind as I was preparing for this message, some of you want to do birthday. The only thing you care about, you're so earthly conscious. You only care about the nails you will do and where everybody is going to eat. There is nothing of eternal value that was done concerning your birthday. Just like getting married also. You know, when milestones come around, we just see where people's heart is. They have always wanted to leave the cleavages open. They have watched so much of Hollywood. They can't wait to wear that tight-fitted gown so that everybody will know the endowment they got from their mother, both back and front. They have watched people who dance. They say, we're going to give it to them. It's just my day. There is no day that is your day. This is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. Every day belongs to God, not you. There is no day that belongs to you. A lot of things just enter in people's head. They just forget where they're coming from and where they go. You came from eternity. You are eternal in nature. Your investment must for sure be eternal. If your economic investment will be secured by the hand of God. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be. If your treasures are not kept in eternity, your heart will not be in eternity. And God only rewards according to how your heart is to him. It tries the heart. So a lot of the time when you are coveting the greatness of the great, can you first of all find out where their heart is? It's not a tap. A tap international ministry is carried out by millions of people. Only about a few hundreds of them get blessed because their heart is positioned in the right way. The height that men attain in life through God is a product of the heart that they have towards God. It's not so much of the act. It's so much of the heart. Their heart to God. When Solomon looked around and looked around and looked around and said, who else will be worshipped and praised? And gave 1,000. Go and know the price of it. If he gave 1,000, probably all he had was 1,100. Because God will not come. If somebody had 2 billion and he gave 1,000, God will not come in the night. Somebody gave 2 mites and that is all he had. See, valued eternity. Some of you will buy cloth, you don't feel it. When you pay tithe, you feel it. It means eternity is not rooted within you. That's why you cry so much. There is so little response from heaven. There are other people. They only cry little. Even the whispers of their heart is so loud in heaven. That's why you are seeking for different kind of jobs. They never come. You do everything, interview. You paint your face, paint your lip, paint your nails. If you want to seek for political power, you want to seek for economic power, through God, you must also know what it means to seek things through God. It means your heart will not be sifted. Political campaigns, all of those things take you away from fasting, from praying, from paying tithe, from giving offering, from going to church, from being normal with God. All through the night, you are just doing strategizing of how to do the campaign. It has now crept into your personal relationship with God. God does not enjoy you anymore. People will find a way of enjoying their lives. I've just told you. Some husband also, businessmen say, it's my business. If I don't have money, my wife will not enjoy. They stay with business. Oh, they marry 20-year-old boy girl. The man is a businessman, 60-year-old. And the wife is always fine. And everybody always love her in the compound. Including all the young guys. And she's going well with everybody. Yes. And anytime she comes, she just cook you food. After 3 weeks, she does not complain that you are not at home for 3 weeks. A wife does not complain. As a matter of fact, she's praying the day you will die. Are you listening to what I'm saying? So God fastened us out from eternity. And He wants our heart every minute to be glued on eternity and the things that have to do with eternity. Everything that can promote eternity. That's the reason why you see the wealth of the Muslim world. It will surprise you. Whoever God they are worshiping, that God receives a lot of sacrifices. Muslims. That's the reason why they are wealthier. Muslim countries, Islamic countries are wealthier than Christian countries. You've been in UAE? Many of their things are tax-free. Zainab and I were in the office of the principal of the school of Ansar and Ebenezer. And he said, my own brother went to go and become a principal of a school in UAE. And they were paying him $10,000. No, it's not $10,000. More than that, per month. He said, my brother has 4 houses in this country. He said he just did it briefly. And he got 4 houses. And he said he came back. Where will they pay you $20,000 to be a principal in this place, in this critical country? They want you to church to go and do your confirmation. They worship their God. Face it, they will look for where the sun rises and face the place 5 times a day. They could be driving. When it is time to pray, they stop their car. When they don't see water, they use sand to clean themselves. I was a Muslim, so if I'm talking to you, you better listen. I thought there is no other church in the whole of Galway, that comes early like us, 6 a.m. Because I thought that the Muslim come around 7 a.m. Only for me to try to come one time around 5 a.m. I discovered they come 5 a.m. They are beside us here to pray. And it is 5 times a day, apart from the ones that they would do on their own, the statutory one, which Allah requires, if it will be their friend. It's 5 times a day. What you call tithe, they call it zakah, and it's more than that. They give in. Let people just, they will look for where the sun is. You say, I watch my own online. They don't do mosque online. Never. And they don't call each other. You just see them, everybody has driven down.